Hi everybody, welcome back to Dunrovin Ranch in lovely Lola, Montana. It's a balmy 75?
Yeah, 70.
70,
Nice, a little
okay.
humid.
It's actually really nice. It's a little smoky, but it's not bad. Thank you for joining me on the walkabout today, and I told you we'd have a special guest. Mr. Brandon Carpenter, ladies and gentlemen,
I
is
don't know
here.
about how special.
Yeah, special. That kind of special.
Oh, thanks.
No, thanks. So, no, thank you for joining us today. He's really busy. He's doing a clinic this week with the Giddy Up Girls. And you have lessons tomorrow
Yep.
afternoon, actually.
All day.
All day?
All day.
All right.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day.
It's
It'll
tough,
be good.
it's tough being a star, isn't it?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't?
I don't know what tough is.
No. So you all know Brandon for several years of coming here, but I thought we could just hang out and chat, if not just rest for a half hour.
Rest, there you
we'll
go.
just rest.
Nice, I might go to sleep, so pardon me if I nod off.
Yeah, no problem. I'll cover.
Okay.
Maybe we could, could we talk to Sandy and we found out where she was from, and she won the medal for saving horses from a burning barn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was on drill team. We just learned different things about different people on these broadcasts. Thanks, Taylor. Bye-bye. And I'm just going to ask you random questions,
Okay.
not horsey, because
Okay.
we know we know a lot about you and your horse philosophy. But maybe I'll just hit you with some questions.
God, you really want to know?
Yeah.
This could go anywhere. Like I met my mom in prison.
Yes.
Kind of things, right?
Yeah, sure.
No, it didn't happen.
I know it didn't, but okay. Let's say honest answers if you're gonna answer.
Okay.
It's not gonna be crazy. How about this one? Where were you born?
I was born in a
Yes,
place
sir.
you probably don't know. White Sulphur Springs, Montana.
When? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm talking.
Good.
Excuse me. I'm talking to Jake. I'm learning how to do this. I
You
shouldn't
have
hit the
voices in
table.
your head, don't you?
Yeah, I have voices in my head. It sounds so weird, strangely like Jake.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. You were born?
White Sulphur Springs, Montana, south central, oddly enough, on the north end of the Crazy Mountains.
Huh.
So, yeah,
You've
take
gone
that
south
where you
ever
want to.
since.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's gotten worse. Yeah, born up there.
On a ranch.
Actually, no. My folks who are helping out family who had a sawmill up there. Kind of tough times. It was interesting because it was my mom's dad, my dad's grandpa,
Oh wow.
and then cousins who owned the mill, and everybody was working there.
Wow.
Trying to keep that going. And Dad was driving truck, hauling logs out of the mountain. Everybody had a job. Everybody's doing something.
What was the name of the
It was up Cottonwood Creek Mill, Scow's Mill. Was the name of
Scows
it.
Mill? Okay.
Yeah, and no longer there. My mom flew to Helena with me about a year and a half ago. Flew right over the top of it, and it's completely all gone, all been reclaimed. You can't even tell.
Oh really?
Which, yeah, in a way, it's
That's
like
nice.
you could see the nostalgia come
Yes.
back in her face.
I thought you were going to say it was all homes now, but no.
No,
It just,
no. It's remote.
Oh, wonderful.
Very remote.
Oh, that's nice. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
yeah. It's a trek to get up there to it. So it was really cool to see that. So yeah, that's where. And then from there, just back down to the ranching life.
So all over Montana, but nowhere else really? Have you lived anywhere?
Yeah, I grew up on the Muscle Shell, off the Muscle Shell, around Rygate, Montana. That's where the ranch is now. We got a small place there, and family place. I'm the 5th generation there.
No way.
Yeah, and my boys are the 6th. They will continue on when I'm too old or I die.
Yeah. Neither of which is going to happen.
It's gonna happen. It's inevitable. But so they're very interested in continuing what we do. We raise some cattle, raise horses.
Yes.
That one's in the Army, and one is a wildlands firefighter. So
Seriously?
So the government owns both my
That's
boys right now. Yeah,
but they'll also take care of them later, hopefully.
well, you hope. Yeah, there's some opportunities there for both of them.
Yeah.
So one's out of college, one's still got a little bit left, but just got home Saturday. He's done a lot of firefighting again this year.
I bet he has.
Yeah, it's been
I bet he has.
brutal.
It's a tough year.
It is. It's very tough, and when you're 22 years old and you come home and you look like you're in your 30s
Yes,
because of fatigue.
it's been tough.
It's tough on them. Yeah. And
Any of them ride? Or they ride, I'm sure.
yeah, they both
But
ride.
interested in being.
No, my oldest son they're both very good at it. My oldest son maybe a little bit more so, and it's interesting how that happens. My youngest son, when he was about 2 and he's riding,
Right.
I mean, that's what we do, right?
Of course, yes.
And small kid, a horse shook, he fell off and hit hard ground, and it scared him. Why wouldn't it?
What, of course.
And so he's kind of got that basic fear it's there, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's almost like a PTSD
Yes,
fear.
no,
you know,
of course.
And he will train, but initial getting on him, and you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine. My older son is in the Army. Also, very good trainer, very quiet. I think you've met Kalen. Braden is my youngest one. Kalen's the oldest one. Kalen was here a year ago? Oh my God, it's probably 2 years ago. You maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Very, very, very focused about what he does. He's not the jokester.
Sure.
You know, like the younger one is.
Right.
Kind of opposite types of personalities, but
cool.
Very good at it. Likes it. I don't think he wants to make it a living though, because he sees what it can do to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy.
No.
And I'm pretty lucky.
You have
I'm
to
pretty
be
old.
obsessively passionate about it because.
You do.
Yeah.
That's right. It has to be part of who you are. Otherwise, you're just doing something.
And it's not fun.
No, it gets to where it's not fun. You know, sometimes it gets to be not fun for me.
Sure.
Towards the end of a season or something's going on, I mean, it's like, oh my God, I'm tired.
The
I'm
end
ready
of
for
last
rest.
year, I never thought I would think, God, if I don't get on a horse again. The end of last summer was tough, but then it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's the best.
Well, and I take the winters off because I don't ride in an arena. You know, and and we're working back to horses.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Towards February, I'm starting to pace the floor.
Yeah, want to get
Like,
on.
Oh, I want to get some horses run.
So your cattle are just out all winter? Do you have cattle during the winter? Are you?
Oh yeah. We feed. You know, like this year.
Okay, so you do.
A couple 100 ton of hay. You know, you got to put out.
A couple 100 ton of hay.
A couple 100 ton of hay.
How many head of cattle do
I
you?
can't tell you that. For those that are.
Why?
This is a cultural question.
Okay, I didn't know
most people that don't know, and it's not because you don't know.
Interesting.
When you ask a rancher or even a farmer how many acres they have, or how many cows they have, it's like asking you how much money you have in your checkbook.
Is that right?
What's your personal wealth? And
interesting.
And I wouldn't say that otherwise.
Of course.
You know, but this is a good learner for folks.
No, for me too.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like you don't ask that question, and you certainly I would never ask a neighbor.
Wow.
You just don't.
Interesting.
You just don't ask. So it's
I love that I learned that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just a cultural thing that's been there for
ever.
I don't know where it started.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of since the homestead days, you know, folks who were acquiring land
Sure.
a little bit better off, maybe,
Sure.
or
maybe
a little more shrewd with how they approach their business, and yeah, I've never not known it to be that way.
Oh, I love that.
So, otherwise, I would have probably
lied. He would have
lied.
exaggerated.
I said, what I normally tell people.
Yeah. Too many.
I've got too many cows to feed, and not enough grass for the ones
There
I
you
have,
go.
right? And
That's a
certainly
great-
not enough when I go to market.
It's a great answer because you have no idea what that
No
means.
idea what that means.
So did you went to school?
Yeah, went to. I made it through grade school.
Good, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Skin
they
of your teeth.
pushed me through high school. Yeah, I got through high school okay.
Nice.
At the top of my class.
Nice.
Small class. And then
Of one.
yeah, right. Went to college.
What was your interest in school?
Oh God, you know, I'm one of those people that so many things interest me. There's so many things I would love to do, and I would love to. I'd love to have been a physician.
Really?
I want to be a vet.
Yeah.
Of course, animals.
Of
I mean,
course,
it's not
always.
a ranching background. Would have loved to be an archaeologist.
I was going to guess that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I love different cultures and learning about that, and the deeper meaning behind it. What's really behind their culture? What drove them? Lots of different things.
Yeah.
I can't draw a stick figure, so
There you
art
was out. Art was out.
Yeah. I'm not very good with a instrument of any kind.
Right. Okay.
You know, I can play rocks. A couple
Good.
rocks
Well, that
here.
you know,
I could
the original music.
poorly.
Poorly
I can't
played
even hold a
rocks,
beat with
poorly.
2 rocks. But
Wow.
yeah, so
But almost anything. I mean, you're just a
Yeah.
curious person.
I am. There's lots of interests that I'm not very good at any of them. You know, I mean, I just have an interest in them. But got a degree in biology and chemistry minor.
Okay.
And then
From where? Where'd you go?
well, I was actually here at Missoula for a couple of years.
Oh.
Believe it or not, I
you
stood
were
out.
a grizzly.
Yeah, well, I was. And go Grizz until
Yeah.
my wife got her master's from MSU.
Oh.
And then both of my boys go to MSU. So I have now spent more in tuition and associated costs at MSU, so it's now Go Cats. So you
Okay.
can call me a trader. It doesn't matter. I don't care. You know, but yeah, I worked here. I was here for a couple of years, going to school, and then went back and finished my degree, and then went to work for the state as a game warden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I spent 10 years working for the state of Montana as a fish and game warden, and
Giving tickets and things like, what do you...
educating people.
Educating.
Yeah.
Ah!
Some of the education was maybe
I
a
understand.
little harder than some, but yeah, you know, and come from that ranching background and saw, you know, this is a really good outdoor life, and you are really trying to make things better from that standpoint or from that perspective of the ranch background, and some of the struggles and some of the frustrations that farmers and ranchers have with state bureaucracies.
Yeah.
And they liked that, I think.
That you could do both. You've seen both sides.
They could get some input from me, but as, you know, as soon as you get hired, all of a sudden you don't know much because you're a new guy.
That's
and
right.
That goes out the window.
That's right.
And you starve to death doing it.
Of course. Oh, I bet. Yeah, but when you said outdoors, how could you possibly? I could never work inside again. I don't know what I would. I don't know what I would do.
You know, and there's advantages to working inside in the wintertime. You know.
Yes.
And the disadvantage is when you can smell somebody mowing a lawn when you're inside. Oh God, it's just like school, right? Everybody's experienced that.
You got to get out.
Yeah, you need to get out. So
now you can ride in the winter though, or you just don't. But you could.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah. I just don't train in the winter because, especially the last 2 winters have been very tough. We've had some freezing rain ahead of some snow.
How are you going to? Who wants to teach and learn in that?
Yeah, and for a horse to go down with you, even especially a young horse, and fall, really shakes their confidence. And you can have injuries. You can break a leg. I mean, it's just not worth the risk.
No.
It's really not. And I don't like riding in an arena inside because there's only so much you can do. You've got to get these horses out, in my opinion, and get them experience in the real world.
Right.
And why waste my time doing that? I mean, really, it's what
it is
about.
Yeah. So this winter, I think horses again. We can't help it. I did try to go to the college, but so I think I'm going to be hauling Mystery out though. We talked about this, hauling him out to indoor arenas, but also taking him trail ride. I know a couple of the guides here ride all winter. They know places that aren't that icy, that are just stay mushy.
Right. That's fantastic.
So we'll give it a shot.
Well, and it'll be nice to get just you and him time, right? So that you can enhance him, putting miles on him, putting hours on him. That's really what he needs.
Absolutely.
And just more consistency of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. And well, they saw Taylor was 25 feet from a bear the other afternoon. I don't know if she told you.
Down here?
Yeah,
really?
Right down here.
Oh, cool.
With guests.
Yeah. Oh, neat.
She wondered. Yeah. Well, Whiskey was just freaking out. Whiskey freaking out. She's like, "What's going on?" And then the guest went, "A bear!" She went, "Oh my God! Everyone, stay calm."
She told me that. I didn't realize that was just the other day.
I
was thinking
2 days ago.
Oh my God! Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, right. So I'm thinking mystery. That can.
Good for him. If you live through it,
if I
it'll
live,
make you stronger.
You know, if I stay up, even if I come off and live, it's fine. I just want to live. That's important.
Shoot.
Well, we love you coming.
Well, thank
I learn
you.
so much every single time, and you compliment me a lot by saying, "Oh, you know this," but I don't. But I appreciate, anyone who says that they know everything about horses is full of it.
One of the two things have happened. Either they've been overlooked as the greatest person in history, right?
Right.
Or they are lying to you.
Or their ego is such.
Their ego is such. Yeah, and to be honest with you, I've been doing this since I was a kid. Long time. And I had some really, really exceptional teachers. And some of the best teachers you have, regardless of your human teachers, are the horses that are under you. You learn so much. I still learn every horse. I'll learn something, and so many horses I'll not thought about for years, or they're long gone now. 20, 30 years ago, and I'll be on a horse like, oh my God, this reminds me of this horse.
Yes.
And you'll remember back all of the things. I mean, it comes back like somebody you haven't thought of in 20 years, or it's the same thing
all the time. You think back like, this is what was happening, and I wish I knew then.
Yeah.
And It's wonderful. And
what's
I
really-
caused this, and now I'm going to learn to not cause that again.
Right. Or, hey, I used this and this worked.
And it
on
worked.
that. Right. And what's really kind of fun and kind of a little secret is you'll go to teach a clinic somewhere, and it doesn't matter where it's at, and it doesn't matter who it is. This can be a very novice group of folks that you're working with. Sometimes you'll learn something from them.
Yeah, isn't that
you
great?
never saw that perspective before. And you go, oh, I can use that maybe to help somebody else. Or,
Yes.
Because you take a lot of things for granted.
Absolutely.
And you tend to, for myself I should say, I tend to advance quicker than some folks are ready for, and they don't want to stop you.
Right.
And I try to be really clear about, hey, you can
Stop.
stop me,
Yes.
stop me. Yeah. So, yeah, you learn a lot from other people, other horses. You touch thousands of horses when you're teaching.
Yes.
So one becomes like another, and there's some that stand out, and some that you
Yeah.
just aren't going to remember them because you don't have a relationship with them.
And it's easy to forget. I like teaching. Most of the students who come here are absolute novices.
Yeah.
The people on the trail rides or the students. And you forget how hard it is. How to even use. Sometimes they're just even afraid to touch the horse.
Right.
And I mean, when they get on, and it's so much harder than we remember. I think than we remember it being in the beginning.
And I can remember a guy asking me one time. He was a teacher, and he said, "Are you afraid of this horse?" And I answered him very honestly. I was probably 12, 13 years old, maybe. And I said, "No, I'm not afraid of him." And he just ripped into me about, "You should be afraid of this horse." I said, "No, I'm not afraid of him. Maybe I didn't know enough to be afraid. Do I respect him? Without question.
Yes.
This horse is 12, and he was 1,400 pound horse. He's a large, heavy muscled horse. And at that time, I'm like maybe 110 pounds.
Yeah.
You have to respect that.
You have to.
If you don't, you're a fool. But to fear him, no, because I already knew what I could do with it. I knew I could make this horse respond to me.
Sure.
So I wasn't fearful, but yeah, that initial time coming up to a horse for the first time, or the first couple of times, these are enormous animals.
Stronger,
mind their own.
faster than you can ever. Like we've talked about
Absolutely.
the reaction time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're on the ground before you know what's happening.
Right. Yeah, and the older I get, the more
ground-
my reaction time starts to slip.
Is that right? I know.
Sure.
Oh, I know.
I was just talking with Suzanne the other morning about this. We were laughing, kind of, we're aging. Everybody is. And some of our aches and pains are more consistent and solid and worse.
Yes.
And I asked my dad one time, I said, I was about 40, somewhere in there. And I said, we're in the backcountry camping, taking a string of horses in, catching some fish, just enjoying life, right?
Yeah.
And my boys are there and they're messing around, and I said, "Dad, did you ever notice for sure when maybe your reaction time wasn't quite what it was? Because it could." And he looks at me and has this kind of a crooked grin and one tooth missing that he didn't put in, and he says, "What's the matter, kid? You getting old?" I was like, "Oh God, that hurt." I said, "Well, maybe." And he goes, "Yeah, I was about your age.
Yeah,
I was about 40.
I
And he
know.
said, you have to self-evaluate though all the time, right? And know your limitations and work around them, or work
Absolutely.
smarter so that you don't box yourself into a corner.
And whether you want it to or not, it happens. It's
It
like,
does.
why can't I get on anymore without? Why can't I do that anymore? It's like, dang it! I call my mom. I say, "Mom,
Yeah, exactly. Is this real?
Is arthritis supposed to hurt?"
Why do my hands
It's like, what's
ache?
happening here? But yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't in a bar fight last
Yeah,
night.
I
They
know.
hurt.
It's
What's
been a long
going on?
time. No,
Yeah.
but God, it's so
It's normal though, right?
it's totally normal, and the horses don't care. You know what I mean? They don't look at you and go, "Ah."
Right.
They kind of meet you where you are in the same way. If you've got that relationship, I think.
They're amazing that way. They are so forgiving, and they read us. And if we challenge them, they'll challenge us back. But there are times when a kid who is absolutely without any knowledge, without any abilities to understand what this horse can do, will be taken care of by that horse. It's like, how do they know? I mean,
do.
you can't
They
tell me
do.
that's not a thinking, sentient being that
Absolutely.
has kindness.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And those horses that I know they've been trained, but there's the old cowboys whose horse lays down, and so they
Right.
can get on and stuff like that. That's pretty great.
Well, and those
They don't have to do that.
They don't have to. You can teach them to do that. And like my dad was, 68 or so, 65, and he had a bad hip. Hip was in bad shape, and he was still training, and he couldn't throw his leg over the saddle.
Yeah.
So what did he do? He improvised. He taught the horse to lay down first. He crawled on it and then let it up,
Nice.
so that he could finish training.
Sure.
A lot of groundwork went into that to make that happen, but it shows that approach, and of course you're not going to let those ailments stop you.
And then it snowballs. The horse lays down. Well, then whatever happens after that is a lot easier because not just because he literally lays down, but because you've put
this trust,
the bond and the
right.
trust. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're working on Mystery and Augie with that.
Good.
The trust.
A lot of headway was made with Augie. You guys have been working really hard with him. I watched him yesterday. We worked with him with the Giddy Up girls here.
I missed that.
Oh, you could tell the difference in him from when we were online with him.
Yes.
And
earlier. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes, last November or October, whatever it was, when he struck. I mean, he was being a spoiled, petulant child.
Yes.
And they started working with him yesterday, and he did a phenomenal job of listening to them. And they were doing lots of really good things with him.
Good.
And today we went back, refreshed, and he was like...
Oh, you had him out again today?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Had him yesterday,
Okay.
and today was a giant change again. He was real calm, wasn't moving around.
His attention span's a little bit longer. A little bit.
Tiny bit, but it's they still got that at that 15 months old or so. They're still got the attention span of a gnat.
Yes.
And you have to work around that. So.
Yes.
But yeah.
What we've noticed is he does wait and think like, can I get away with something right now, or should I not get away? Should I not try? Should I wait until they're not paying attention to try to do something bad?
They learn quick. Way quick.
Yeah.
Quicker than we think they can, and that's why they get ahead of us. Get away with what they can.
Yeah.
So, come on, more questions. What do you got?
Oh, see, he wants to keep going. I
She
want to
says.
think of something that's not horse related. We have nothing else in common.
I like to fly.
What if you like to fly? You have a plane.
We have a plane.
Now, okay.
Most of the time I come over in a plane.
Right, but you drove.
I drove.
And that's your car.
Yeah,
The license plate says Lopin' Home.
Lopin' Home.
That's how I knew it was you.
That's the only time I lope home is when I'm in the car. When I'm going home, it is high speed. Right? You never lope your horse home.
No, you never lope your horse home.
But you can take your car home that fast.
I learned that in Mongolia. They kept telling me we're going, trying to explain that we're going home. This is the last day of the ride. We're going back. Don't run the horse.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's okay. You didn't believe me. It's like, because you want to go fast on those little Mongolian horses. Boom, boom, boom. No, it's fine. It's fine. So I'm tearing off toward the last gare, and you're, literally the middle of nowhere, and on the ground, believe it or not, is a piece of wood, a right angle, which doesn't exist in nature.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun. My horse went sideways fast, and I came off faster. I was on the ground before I even knew it had happened, and everyone's, the Mongolian guys, laughing their butts off at me like, I told you. I told you. But it's a good story. So you never lope home.
Never lope
Never
home.
lope.
Only in the car.
Only in the car. You fly.
Fly, yeah.
You have your own plane.
Own plane.
Okay.
Share it with another guy. We went together on it.
What kind of plane? I don't know what that means.
It's a Beechcraft Bonanza.
Okay.
Which means it's...
Of course it's Bonanza.
There you go. I never thought of that, actually.
Yeah.
Trained in a Cessna. I've flown Cessnas, Bonanza.
Really?
This is the second plane we've had. It will get from here to home in about an hour and a half.
Oh, wow. And it's a 6-hour drive.
Yeah, it's a 6-hour drive.
Okay.
6-hour drive, yeah. But, I can cut across mountains, that
Yeah,
kind of
of
stuff.
course.
So, love to fly. Always wanted to fly as a kid.
Really?
Grew up without a TV, no phone.
There you go.
Dad and I would build model airplanes because I always wanted to fly. Always just was enthralled with airplanes as a kid.
Really?
The thing I wanted to do was be a pilot.
There you go.
Right? And, of course, riding with my grandpa and talking about planes, and a superintendent of our school was learning to fly. And for our 8th grade graduation, all of us kids in the class, he took us to Billings, and we all got to ride an introductory flight on an airplane. That was his gift. Isn't that an enormous gift to give to some kids?
Huge.
Yeah, and
You couldn't do that now.
Oh, I was scared to death.
Were you really?
Oh God, yeah. It's like I wanted to, but I didn't want to, right? And so, got to fly. He let me fly it. I was in the front, and I was hooked. So, from my 8th grade that summer, all I did, all summer long, talk to my grandpa as we're moving cattle, we're working here to there. I'm sure he was sick of hearing me talk about flying an airplane.
But he didn't say anything.
But you know what he did? He said, that's a good idea. He said, you need to go to school and learn how to fly. Do whatever it takes to learn how to fly. He says there's no future in these cattle. There's no future in these horses. You got to get away from these.
Really?
There's nothing in it. He said, look, we don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything to speak of. Wow. You need to go out there and learn a trade. Do something that's good that you can make a good living at, and you can not have to work your whole life until you die.
Right.
Enjoy some life. Yeah, well,
yeah,
I went to college to do that. Where am I at? I'm right back in the same spot.
I think the hobby should have been the profession, and the profession should have been the hobby.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, learn to fly. Fly this thing to clinics and to whatever, and do things.
Now, you have to go into the local airport, though. And
I have to go to Missoula, and then usually you guys are kind enough to come drag me up there.
But other clinics, people just pick you up.
Yeah, that's kind of the expectations. Just pick me up there. And then if I fly somewhere commercially, the East Coast or something, then it's like, yeah, I don't drive in these big cities. Nope. Come look for the guy that looks like this, and I'll just, I don't even assign, you don't need a sign, you just find me.
Yeah, I've got the cowboy hat on, the only one in New York with.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to land anywhere? For example, if the arena was huge, could you land in the pasture? Are you legally allowed to do that?
You know, there's laws around concentration. You have to be 2,000 feet or above or on a real concentrated populace. Okay. In an emergency, you can put it where you need to.
Right.
If you have an emergency like that, yeah, you better have a pretty good reason why you got an emergency. And usually those emergencies are caused by you.
Right.
85% of the incidents in an airplane are pilot errors
of
some sort. Yeah.
So I didn't have a ride from the airport, so I thought I would just go to the.
Yeah, that's not going to work so well for you unless that private land is completely private.
Right, right.
And you can put it down there, and then that'd be all right. You could do that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great? Let's put in a landing strip.
Oh, I'd love it.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
But yeah, it's a 5-passenger plane. It's a 4-passenger with a small jump seat.
I've never been up in a small plane.
Oh,
I've been in a prop job, I think from going Santiago to Easter Island. I mean, I've been on small commercial planes.
Yeah.
I've not. I don't know that look at me right now. I'm stammering. I'd be terrified.
I understand that.
Do you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I take people. One of the things I like to do is kind of return the favor that was given to me by that gentleman. And so I take people for rides often. Never been in an airplane? Great, let's go. And I'm really gentle with them, because it's a completely foreign atmosphere to them.
Oh my God.
And there's a lot of fear.
Yes.
Right? It's safer than driving on the interstate.
It's funny. I'll get on a crazy horse, but I'm like, what's more unpredictable, the horse or the plane? The horse. But I guess they're on the ground.
That's it. You're closer to the ground.
Yeah, closer to the ground.
But yeah, there's all kinds of fun things you can do.
Yeah.
Sites that look completely different.
Oh, I bet.
You can get to some places you can't do commercially, and see some things.
You have an osprey eye view of the.
Yes, you do.
I bet that's amazing.
I'm not gonna reach down with those wheels and touch the water. Though.
No. Yeah. Go fishing from your plane.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that.
I see your giddy up girls are here.
They're getting ready again, aren't we? We're about to line out and start again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly.
Isn't he great? We even talked about college a little bit.
Did I say I went to college? Good lie, right? No.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brandon. Hey, thanks
you guys.
Thanks very much for watching. So I think they're going to watch you. Are you going to work with the girls again?
We're going to work with the gals out here.
Groundwork?
And groundwork. We're going to do some more groundwork.
Okay.
And we've been working groundwork in the round curl, the lunge line, and some obstacles. And
now I think we're all going out on a trail ride. Is tomorrow?
I don't know. We'll see what.
All right. Awesome.
Maybe not. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see what goes. All right. Well, thank you.
I'm really kind of. Are those moose ears? Look at we got the peanut gallery.
No, we're not off air.
No, we're not off air.
We're gonna come up behind you and do the.
That's okay.
The rabbit ears.
Anyway, thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Have
guys.
fun.
We'll see ya.
Bye. Thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you. I will see you on Thursday with Augie and Mystery and Brandon and Sierra. Alrighty. Thanks to Brandon again, and we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.